Good evening. Welcome to the Side Door Jazz Club. We're having a little chat with musicians that come by and play at this club. I'm so excited because we had a heck of a concert last night. And I sit in the chair, and I'm the happiest man in the universe because this music is so spontaneous, melodic, and swinging. The word swing is so important to me, to jazz, to an audience. And when Bobby Watson comes in with his band, you are going to be swinging. And it's an honor, Bobby, to have you with me.
Thank you, Ken.
And, you just can't kill it. I'm sorry, but we can't kill the swing.
No, that's a proven formula, and it works all around the world, in many different situations, with all ages.
Right.
You know, you feel that, and it's not an easy thing to do, but it can be the simplest thing at the same time.
Correct.
Because if you're happy and dancing inside yourself,
Right.
it's going to come out, and people will feel that as well. Yeah. So first thing you got to learn how is to make yourself dance.
Right.
While you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you go out and put it with other folks, it's like it's infectious. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the greatest joys I have in my life, and it's very healing and therapeutic. It takes away my fatigue.
Yeah.
If I'm not feeling too chipper,
right.
it heals me for the time I'm on stage, and it's a miracle thing. I can't live without that, you know.
I just love the Kansas City, you know, the history, and you're back there. You went back.
Yes, right? I went back in 2000.
Got here. You were in New York. You're teaching at William Patterson and other schools. And you said, "Hey, I'm going back to Kansas City," right?
I had an opportunity, like they say, that I couldn't refuse. Yeah. And it was to build the jazz program out at the University of Missouri, Kansas City, UMKC Conservatory. Yep. So I did that for 20 years, and we had a lot of great successes. We went to Europe with the band and did a tour. We did to Japan with the band. We went around to the festivals and got top ratings and won some festivals. And we made a recording called the Gates Barbecue Suite.
Yeah.
You know, that went to number 4 on the jazz airplay charts. And, that was self-produced, and that band on that recording was probably the best band I had. That was the apex band for me. That was. You
should have those CDs. These bring them here, man. I'd sell them tonight.
I didn't bring them, but
Yo,
I do have. I got plenty of them.
Oh my God.
We just did a.
Send me one, will you?
Oh, of course. I'll do better. I'll probably send you a vinyl.
Hey, now. Well, I'm sorry. I better not say.
He gets excited. Yeah, we did a limited run of 100 vinyl, and we sold them all. You know, and it's a one-time thing on the vinyl. Yeah. I hooked up with this company out of France, and it worked out very nicely. Man. But that was a great band.
Oh. Especially you know, it's in your head that we were talking about. Like, you know, you have an idea of a song. How do you spread the wings? How do you get it out? How do you get the people in the room? How do you get the right musicians? And I think, you know, you've been playing with consistent cats that you knew, and 40 years later, they're here.
Yeah.
And I really believe in karma that way, or of a in a club when you watch you play, there's a feeling. And I always kid about music stands, and I get hard about music stands because it's the heart, man. And when you guys are playing, you are just feeling the music, and I think that is something that the audience picks up on. You know.
I believe that.
And you did this whole thing when you were out there. One course: composing, arranging, producing, teaching, but performing. And you're the first guy I've talked to as a teacher who talked about taking them on a performance experience such as you had.
Yes.
I
regularly hire my students.
Right.
You know, some were at the top students, and some of them, they needed a chance to get out there, so I would bring them on the gigs, and you know, that's part of it. You know, it's like a language. You can't learn it in a bubble.
That's right.
You know?
That's so true, man.
You know.
Yeah.
So
you know.
we used to have a jam session every Thursday night around the corner from the school, a place called Mike's Tavern, and it finally ran its course because the musicians were coming in, our students, and they get a chance to play with people that they couldn't play with during the day because of scheduling.
Right.
You know, when you're during the day. Right. And man, next thing I know, this drummer's not available, this bass player's not available. They started getting gigs, you know, because Kansas City, the scene there and the elders are very welcoming.
Yes.
To the students there. So
that's what I love about
they start working and they snatch them and then they're not available anymore. You know,
because the way I look at it, if I want to become a better saxophone player, or if I want to go into the academia and learn quarter notes, half notes, learning the charts. Once you get out there and you experience this, you realize why you need to work that hard to get there. Because you're up there and oh man, I'm doing this, but I need this. I need that extra step. And so if you're in a place where you don't have that experience, it's just rudiment, right? And we're talking jazz music, right?
Yeah.
Happy music is what I call it.
And a lot of it's trial and error.
Yeah.
And that scares the heck out of the young people.
Sure.
You mean, I got to try and then I'm going to mess up? Yeah, and you'll learn from that. You know, mistakes are the gateway to discovery. You know, as long as you don't repeat them too much. And if you learn from your mistakes, sometimes it opens up an idea that, you know, you didn't think you were going to get to.
Right.
You know, my son, when he was younger, Aaron, he was with us at a set in New York, and afterwards he said, "Hey, Dad, how do you play for like 45 minutes, an hour, and not make any mistakes?" I said, "Aaron, I made over 100 mistakes. I just know how to take them somewhere."
That's right.
Yeah, that wasn't what I intended to do, obviously, but it was fun just fixing them. I know how to fix them, you know. Right. So they're not mistakes anymore.
Yeah, and that's part of the road. Those mistakes sometimes are the things that take a band and you go, what?
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And and one thing I love about watching you play and the audience, you do a ballad. I want people to really hear it. I mean, when you do a ballad, it was just smoking it. I call music, you do it music. And you know, and I always look at theory and music, but I always think it's very interesting. There's a word called comping. So how do you, a real aggressive musician says, I can do it all, right? But then you say, listen, man, you got to turn down. How do you kind of, does that come from the listening experience or the playing outside experience, where the kid goes, wait a minute, okay, what is comping? Fill in here quietly, just do what I have to do.
Are you talking about pianists?
Yeah, pianist.
I mean, comping is a whole art to that, you know. Yeah. John Hicks, I love playing with John. Kenny Barron, many great pianists. Harold Mayburn, and play with them. Kirk Lightsey, and we have a great pianist with us this weekend.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolute phenomenal. And his son, his mother's with us tonight?
Yeah, his mother's going to be with us.
That is, that is the coolest thing, is to have your parents in the room, man.
I'm going to call his name in a minute.
It's all right.
He's going to, when he sees this, he's going to be like, you don't know my name?
Hey.
McEwen.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. And I was watching him last night, watching you, watching the drummer, watching, he's on fire. I mean, he's stepping into the fire. You guys played together a little while.
Oh, Victor Jones.
He's sitting there going, okay, where are we going? Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, Victor's one of the masters,
Victor has
this generation, Victor Jones.
Yeah. Well, Victor has what I call a joyous drumming.
Yes.
He can explode at any minute, and then he brings it down. But he is rhythm to me is such a joy. It's what makes us all get up. And when you see a drummer like him, that we had Ralph Peterson with that kind of energy in this room.
Yes.
And shake you up. you know, and it's like how he uses the cymbals, how he brings things up. But I think that's all the importance of live music. And what I'm looking for the future is you're kind of a free guy now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
free.
What's your goals, man? What are you thinking?
I want to play in nice places,
Yeah.
like the side door,
Yeah.
and I mean that sincerely. I want to be able to play where I want to play and when I want to play,
Yeah.
and just get back to the life I had prior to being in academia.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Brandon McEwen, I want to say, I apologize, Brandon,
All right.
but he's a fantastic pianist as well. So I love the way he comes.
Right.
You know, 'cause, if you have somebody that knows how to accompany,
Yes.
you don't really have to think of anything to
Right.
play, because they're playing so much beautiful things and leading you. I just listen to what they do, and I'm into it, and then I go my way, and then it's just beautiful. You know, it's harder to. If you don't have a good pianist or a good accompaniment behind you, you know, and of course Curtis is always instigating back there on the bass,
Yeah. Very.
and Victor, he's an instigator.
Yeah.
I need instigators behind me.
I think that's
know?
what makes it. They push. You cannot really, but you're pushing each other. But you're kind of like they always say. You may play a song you played last night. Some song a little different.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's
different.
gonna be different, man. And so I always say, people, you should come both nights to Side Door to see Bobby Watson.
Oh,
for crying
yeah.
out loud. Because the experience of it is when you're with a master in a room and he's playing, and we've been trying to get Bobby since this COVID time.
Yeah.
But one just musical family, your wife. Tell me about it.
Oh, Pamela, she's a fantastic composer and a pianist, accompanist, and vocalist. But her main thing is piano accompanying.
Yes.
And she's really active in the musical theater world now out in Kansas City, and she's working on a one-act opera, folk opera, we're calling it.
Yeah.
Because there is a little bit of conversation, but it's 7 women,
Yeah.
you know, loosely based on a Langston Hughes short story.
Fantastic.
And in fact, I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
When I first got in the band, Pam wrote this song called Miss BC. Anybody listening out there, you probably have heard this song now. And I brought it into the band with Art, and I didn't put no name up on it.
Right.
And so they all assumed that I wrote it.
Yeah.
And so they jumped on it, and Art loved it, and we started opening every night with that.
Yeah.
And we had a road trip across the country, and Pam was able to come with me.
Right.
And we drove, and we got to San Francisco at the Keystone Corner,
Yep.
and we're backstage, and Pam's sitting out front, and
Oh boy.
I know it's gonna happen. He's gonna open with Miss BC.
Yeah, yeah.
So I said, Art, listen, I got a confession to make. You know, he said, what is it? I said, you know, Miss BC, our opener. He goes, yeah, great tune. I said, well, my wife Pam wrote it.
Yeah.
What? You mofo, you know. You know. And then I was like, yeah. I said, you know, if I would have told you guys my wife wrote it when I brought it in, y'all wouldn't have played it.
Right.
You know, 'cause that's how cats are.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, men.
But let me tell you, she got the word out, man.
Oh.
She opened some eyes.
Oh yeah, he came out on stage, and he goes, we just played. He goes, that was Miss BC by Pamela Watson, Bobby wife Pam. Pam, stand up, take a bow. She
Yeah.
was thrilled.
Yeah.
You know. Then he looks at me and goes, well, you know, Bobby, Pam writes all the music, and Bobby puts his name on it. You know.
That sounds like something you'd
Yeah.
say.
So that was it
Yeah,
for the rest
yeah.
of the time I was
Yeah.
there. You know.
But, you know, what an experience. But I mean, just arranging for him as you did and these pieces of music, and you told me these stories of, you know, here's the music. And everyone in that band had to be a writer, had to write music, right? I mean, there was 50
required that.
people who played in this band. And
Yeah, he required that.
Yeah.
Not everyone that was in the band did take advantage of that,
Right.
but you know, when I was writing, when I arranging, I write for the ensemble.
Right.
We were talking earlier
Right.
about when I compose, I'm hearing the people that are going to be playing it. So when I was with Art, and you learn what he likes, what he doesn't like, so you write around him.
Yes.
and if he's happy, it'll get played.
Right.
He didn't play much Latin stuff.
Yeah.
He said, Bobby, you need auxiliary percussion to do that right. So he respected the idiom.
Right. Yep.
And then, you know, you wasn't going to throw too many odd meter tunes and stuff on him.
Right.
And,
Yep.
you know, he was, you learn to write for the ensemble that you're with, you know. So I always kept something, like when I first got in the band, I knew I was going to be playing with a sextet, so I had a couple sextet charts.
Something in your back pocket?
My back pocket.
Yeah, man, I get that.
You know, the first record date we did at Gypsy Folktales.
I always love that expression, having something in your back. Just you never know. You can pull that out and save the day, man.
Yeah, they got a little extra time.
Survival of the fittest, right? I mean,
we got to be ready.
Got to be ready. You know? Bobby, it is such an honor to have you here. And believe me, you will be at the side door many, many times, my friend.
I appreciate it.
Because you are, you're a joy to my heart. Yeah, and I mean that.
It's a joy to be here.
And when you play, I am, why do you have a jazz club? Well, people like Bobby Watson plays here. That's a jazz club. And I'm so proud to have you. And you're probably hearing the music tonight, man. And we're doing this, and it's going to be live, and this place is going to be smoking, fun. And, man, you just got to hold on. Maybe take her shoes off. But you got to keep the toe going, right?
Yeah, you got to keep the toe going.
Somewhere. Don't sit there too still. That's not good.
Not
Bobby,
good for your health.
Thank you again, man.
Ken, we're having too much fun.
I know it, man. We got it. Thank you very much.